Hello everyone, amateur meteorologist FirstinWeather here. It is July 29th, 2019, and we are just a couple of days away from August. So this is my 2019 August outlook. I'll be giving you guys a look into the pattern over the next few weeks and also a detailed temperature outlook for the month of August as a whole. And before we get started into the video, just a friendly reminder that if any of you guys are wanting to get behind the scenes details and customized forecasts for the area, please feel free to support me on Patreon, where it really will help me basically increase my content and my quality, the number of videos I produce and stuff like that. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that if you are financially able and willing. So with that, let's get right into the video. This is the 6Z run from the GFS, valid for 18Z Monday, a couple of hours ago. I was recording this video this morning actually, but I ran into some technical issues, so I'm finally able to now. As you can see, this is the geopotential height, and we do have a weak ridge in the southwest with a bit of troughing in the Great Lakes. So Monday was a pretty nice day for many areas in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. We didn't really have too many storms firing up, and things were pretty warm, but mostly seasonal, nothing too bad. And in the western part of the country, we had some critical fire danger and some above average temperatures. Now, as you can see, this is a GIF from forecast hour 42 to forecast hour 138, and as you can see, that southwest ridge really just stays in place, and it's weak, but it just simply does not budge. Get my pen out, you can really see it's right around here, just stays put for the duration even up to August 4th, and that really increases the temperature anomalies for the southwest and also the western part of the country. And the east stays generally cool, and not cool but seasonal, with normal humidity and seasonal summertime temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, the southeast, and lower to mid 80s in the northeast. Now this is the geopotential height for 6Z Wednesday, August 7th. As you can see, there's a very different look here. We have that ridge that has moved further southwest. Let me change the pen. Let's see, change it to black. You can see that ridge has moved southwest, and so in the eastern part of the country, we actually have quite a deep trough, actually, basically a diagonal axis, and have this would mean, if this verifies, below average temperatures for the upper Midwest, for the Rust Belt, the Mid-Atlantic, and also the Northeast. So this would be a pretty good cool down for many portions of the United States. We would see temperatures running about 5 to 10, maybe even 15 degrees below average in some locations. And we would also see a very nice noticeable drop in humidity, which would make things very pleasant. This did end up verifying. Now this is the European model for the same time frame, just 6 hours back, and as you can see, it has something quite similar. It does have that ridge right here, but it is slightly to the northeast, and because of that, that troughing is to the northeast. However, it has kind of the same idea, and after this, over the next couple of days, the GFS and European just kind of consolidate. So it is interesting to see that both models are in relative agreement this far out, which is usually quite rare. So it's going to be interesting to see what folds out over the next few days. Now this is the GEFS ensemble model. As you can see, it still does have that ridge in the west right here, that weak little ridge, and so that keeps temperatures quite warm in the southwest. Let me delete my previous energy. So we do. Okay, so I don't think I can delete this, but anyways, as you can see, we do have that ridge in the southwest. This keeps things warm here, and then we have some nice troughing right here in the east. So this would mean low humidity, seasonal or average to slightly below average temperatures for the eastern United States for August 7th. And so that would be, this again is for August 7th, so the same time frame as the GFS and European. And as you can see, there's pretty good model agreement GFS and the ensemble are in line, and that's a good sign because sometimes the GFS can just go astray. But when the ensemble models are also in such good agreement, that really shows that there's high model confidence in the pattern over the next few days. Now this is the European. As you can see, it's more of the same thing, and these are the European ensembles, actually the EPS, and as you can see, it is different from the primary European model, and so that to me would indicate the European model is just a little bit off on this. The EPS, the ensembles, has that ridge in the southwest. It does have that little trough in the east, pumping in that cooler than average air for a lot of the Midwest and also the eastern part of the country. And so it does look like the main primary European model right now is a bit off because there is such a good agreement with the EPS, the GEFS, and also the primary GFS model. So this is also being reflected in some of the primary long-range climate models, the CFS for valid August 5th to August 12th. And as you can see, we have basically a ring of above average temperatures surrounding this cool pool in the Midwest and the states like Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. So we basically have this cool pocket right here, and then to the south and east we have warmer than average conditions, and also in the northwest we have warmer than average conditions. And this is the CANSIP's 1 month outlook for August, and as you can see, it has pretty much the same thing. It does have those warmer than average conditions right here, and that cool pocket located here. So this would indicate to me that this model is hinting at a ridge in the southwest, keep conditions warmer than average here, and then that nice trough that the European and GFS ensembles were showing, keeping things quite pleasant and cool relative to summertime conditions in the Midwest region. However, there is, I would say, disagreement with the model and my thoughts on what's going to happen for August. I do think that we are going to see a nice persistent trough in the east and a ridge in the west for the first half of the month, unlike the CANSIPs, which is suggesting that we see that pattern for the entire month, and it's due to the North Atlantic oscillations. So as you can see, the NAO is negative right now, and then turns sharply negative as we head to the middle of August right here. You can see it's about negative 2, maybe even negative 2.5, and after about August 6th, 5th or 6th, it starts to steadily increase upwards, and by the time we reach August 16th, it should be around neutral, and that is when I think the pattern will start to break. That trough in the east will kind of balance out, and we'll see a return of seasonal humidity and high temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s in many portions of the eastern United States, and conditions will return to typical summertime heat and humidity, and the west will also see sort of a reduction in the extent of the above average temperatures. And so this is reflected in the CFS, which picks up on it quite nicely. For the previous weeks, weeks 1 and 2, it did have that ridging in the west, and then also that troughing in the east. Let me visualize this. It has a ridge like this, and then a trough in the east, pumping in that cooler air and that warmer air in the west. But now it essentially just has a zonal flow, or a flow where, I think it's zonal, correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially a flat flow throughout the country with the jet stream not really making any waviness, which is more typical for this time of year. Usually in the summer, we don't really see that waviness with the jet stream that gives nice deep troughs in the east. That's something we see more in the fall and winter as the jet stream becomes more agitated and drops down more. So to me, this indicates that after the middle of August, we should return to typical summertime conditions. So here is my August temperature outlook. As you can see, I still do have that slightly below average pocket right here. So I think overall for the month of August, due to the extensive below average temperatures for the first 2 weeks, I think states like sorry, excuse me there, areas like southern Montana, or not Montana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Iowa should end up slightly below average. Then in this wide area right here, I think you will end up with seeing average conditions in terms of temperature anomalies. This includes states like Montana, North Dakota, western South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, eastern and central Colorado, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and essentially the entire Northeast. Then in this red pocket right here, I think you will see well above average temperatures, as that ridge will just stay put. That ridge will really be completely locked up and not really move at all, promoting well above average temperature anomalies for the month of August as a whole. This includes eastern California, southern Nevada, and western Arizona. Then in this wider area right here, I think you will end up, if you are in this area, with above average temperature anomalies. This includes the deep south like southern Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida, basically all of Texas, New Mexico, Utah, northern Nevada, almost all of Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. Then in this thin band right here, I think you will see slightly above average temperatures in this area right here. And then finally, again, average conditions for a large portion of the country. And here in Alaska, I think there will be above average temperatures for almost all the state except the tail, where you will see well above average temperatures for the state for the month of August. And then finally, Hawaii should see above average temperatures for essentially the entire state. So that pretty much sums up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will be posting videos in the next few days about this supposed trough in the east for the first half of August, and I will have more detail on just how cold or below average temperatures could get for this time of year, and that should be out in the next week. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.